Hi there, how are you? Um, I hope many of you know about Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget, the Swiss psychologist who has contributed greatly towards sharing his theory of child's cognitive development. To me, there are very many sayings and quotations by Jean Piaget which are very impressive, and we often go through them. And I see that almost half century before, a person was there who reflected so beautifully about what the real learning is and how a child or a teacher is ought to be performing his or her role. So today I'm going to share a few of those quotes with you, with the hope that it will be motivational for both of us. For example, in this quote, Piaget highlights two areas which must be developed as a result of education. One is transforming students into creative persons, people, as well as critical. Both ends should be met, and then the purpose of education gets fulfilled, according to Piaget. According to him, people who are simply not repeating what other generations have done, but rather capable of doing new things and not taking things for granted. There is another situation. For example, in this quote, Piaget says, what is desired is that the teacher ceased being a lecturer, satisfied with transmitting ready made solutions. His role should rather be that of a mentor, stimulating initiative and research. So, what happens in our normal situation, day to day situation, in most of the circumstances and environment is that we are satisfied being, beacon of knowledge, transmitting things to our students, believing or assuming that they don't know anything, and we offer ready-made answers. This is what he's saying. Satisfied with transmitting ready-made solutions. So this is a very traditional setup of teaching where largely dependent on the comfort zones of each individual, where we, in the name of standard answers, there are boards in Pakistan especially, those who force the teachers who force students to reproduce the textual answer, the answer written in the book, and students are discouraged not to rewrite in their own expression on the pretext that whether you are better than the book writer or the, I mean, so such are the excuses. This is how they are discouraged. But Jean Piaget says that because the teacher's role is to be a mentor, to stimulate initiative and research, to raise curiosity in them, to raise doubts in them, because doubt is something which is very precious, which leads you to further inquiry and research. I'm going to share with you something that disturbed me greatly, and that's what became the cause that why I'm sharing all this with you. That's an admission test of two students who came to my school and who performed very well in essay writing, and you will see in the forthcoming images. I would recommend that you pause it because I'm not so expert in video making and editing. You will see that essays are such beautiful language they have written in both English essay paragraph and in Urdu paragraph. But when it comes to writing sentences or comprehending a small passage, they have done awful. I mean, because they actually do not have learned the language has not been developed, skill has not been developed, they have learned something, and they reproduced it so well. So look at the sentence structure they have used in that paragraph, and look at the mistakes and the kind of error that they have done in sentence making and in that comprehension of passage. That clearly depicts that what a criminal thing is that we, for the sake of our comfort zone, for the sake of our ease of correction and checking, we are compromising our students' learning. Look at this small paragraph. My hobby. Hobby is reading. I read books, magazine, newspaper, and any kind of material that I find interesting. Wow, wonderful. I had always wanted my parents to read fairy tales of and other stories to me and like stuff. Look at the sentences above this paragraph. Beautiful. I love my beautiful car. I love my light. I love my country. I love my discipline. Too. has the real learning taken place? Just because the child has been rote learned a paragraph, all those sentence structures are faulty at one or two places, but overall it depicts a wonderful language. But look at the sentences that he has or she has written. She just used I love my beautiful car. If there is a sentence about discipline, I love my discipline. If there's a country, word is country, I love my country. And if there is a word is light, the student has written, I love my light. So look at the language the child has used in the paragraph, and look at the real, actual language that I as a teacher, has developed in that child. So I think it's a serious matter that all of us need to ponder and think about. This is a paper of Urdu, and the child has written. I'm showing it from continuing this paragraph. इसमें पांच दरिया बहते हैं. Obviously, it seems it's like an essay on Pakistan. पाकिस्तान का दारुल हुकूमत इस्लामाबाद है. पाकिस्तान के पहले गवर्नर जनरल कायद मोहम्मद जिन्नाह थे. पाकिस्तान की कौमी. Now coming down, there is a paragraph. बहुत सिंपल. परचम सिर्फ कपड़े का टुकड़ा नहीं होता, बल्कि ये किसी कौम की इज्जत, आज़ादी, खुद मुख्तारी की अलामत होता है. कौमी परचम किस चीज़ की अलामत है? हमारे प्यारे वतन पाकिस्तान का झंडा इंतहाई खूबसूरत है. पाकिस्तान के परचम में कितने रंग हैं और कौन-कौन से हैं? परचम पर खूबसूरत चांद और तारा बना होता है. पाकिस्तान के परचम में मौजूद रंग किस चीज़ की नुमाइंदगी करते हैं? कौमी परचम हमारे लिए फ़ख्र का बाइस है. Now, seemingly and in actual, the child has not developed the language, both Urdu and English language, because the text that the child has reproduced is good enough. I mean, it shows a teacher expertise and knowledge and understanding. But the learning has not been owned by the child because she's unable to express, she's unable to understand simple word or using one simple word in a sentence, in a meaningful sentence. I love example is in front of you. Similarly, in Urdu, you can see there is question is something different, answer is something different. Whereas if you see the paragraph, it's beautiful. So the point to ponder is we are in this profession and we often talk about very high about teaching and it's a very prophetic profession and it's something which cannot be paid back and the like stuff. But if we are doing this thing that unfortunately majority of us do it, that's I know, I fully understand their comfort zone. I know it's very easy. There are so many excuses that child is unable or the child doesn't know language. So we are, kind of giving a model answer so the child may go through the exam. But the skill is not developed. The language is not getting developed. The child is unable to understand a word. Child is unable to understand use that language in any situation. So rote learning and parroting is something different. Yes, when we learn tables, of course we rote learn. There are other instances where we rote learn formulas. We rote learn them, but it's a very small part of learning. The real part of learning is, which is painstaking, which requires a lot of patience, is that we develop in our students the ability to express themselves. And I know in this quest I'll have to work a lot. I'll have to correct each and every individual, which is cumbersome job. I know that, but that's the real teaching. That's the point that I want you as well as myself to ponder. I'm sure this will work and this will help you think about it. Thank you very much.